He's taking his team all the way. He leads them through the NBA, scoring big points in every way.
They should call him Dr. J.
'Cause he can do it in the slam.
They should call him Dr. J.
He can do it in the slam.
But more than that, he becomes an institution, one of the focal points around which we live. And that focal point becomes a mountaintop in 1983, a mountain on which to watch the rest of the world below.
Philadelphia now has the World Championship.
This is also a story of his humor. His special touch. His intensity. His emotional makeup, which endear him to us. Through him, we have learned the right way to live. And finally, we have learned the right way to retire.
Look at this crowd. They are thrilled. They are absolutely thrilled. What a way to say thank you to Dr. J. Dr. J's children right in front of us now. And then several mounted Philadelphia policemen. Lots of photographers. And there we have it. Julius and Turquoise Irving. You've got to wonder what is in this man's mind right now. How many times does a city throw a parade for one person? But if we're going to do it, let's do it for Dr. J, because this man has meant an incredible amount to Philadelphia. All right, they are winding their way along the end of the parade route now, going along City Hall. They're going to go down JFK Boulevard and to JFK Plaza for the ceremonies. Let's go back to Jim Gardner now.
Event at JFK Plaza that'll take place in just a couple of minutes, but as you can see, there's a bit of arriving and organizing to do before we're ready for that. We'll be back in just switches to JFK Plaza in Center City, Philadelphia, where the star of the show today, Dr. J, is now approaching the platform or approaching the plaza in his car with his wife Turquoise at his side. And this is where today's event will climax with what we expect to be something of an emotional and remarkable ceremony. And Gary Papa is at JFK Plaza. Gary will be covering this element of our event today. Gary, why don't you describe the scenario there?
What a word for it, Jim. It is pandemonium. Every time a player comes up, they cheer as if they won the '83 championship all over again. Charles Barkley's been applauded, Steve Coulter, everybody. With me is Steve Mix, who just rode in the motorcade. And Steve, what are your thoughts? You know Doctor very well. You're with him Friday and Saturday. He really appreciates every gesture that has been made so far, doesn't he?
Well, there's no question about that. You know, Doc's that type of person that no matter what you do for him, big or small, he is going to appreciate and he's going to remember that. And I have never been in a position where I have been in a parade for one individual that's been this immense. This is just incredible that the city of Philadelphia put on this type of thing for Julius Irving, basketball player extraordinaire, but he deserves it if anybody does.
They had ticker tape flowing from the buildings. People have been climbing trees, all screaming for the one guy. And when he gets here, I mean, they've already had pandemonium and emotion like you can't believe already. When he gets here, it's going to go wild.
Oh, it's going to be incredible.
Wild. Let's go to the podium, see who's up there so far. Of course, all the Sixers are there. Andrew Toney, the man behind the sunglasses, Cliff Robinson, Tim McCormick, all the players. And what a lift it's got to be, thinking about this, Steve, heading into the playoffs with this kind of celebration today.
Well, there's no question about that. This kind of lift could drive the 76ers to another championship if they let it, if they stay in this type of framework of mind. Julius, I know, will not let anybody get down, no matter what the score is, no matter what the series is at that time. They should go on to beat Milwaukee from that point on. I don't know.
A lot of emotion is carrying the team. We saw it over the weekend, especially yesterday's game in Washington, where they seem to have reached a new level. They want to play for Doc. They want to go out a winner for this man.
It would be an absolute fairy tale ending if the 76ers, after all that has happened this year, could win another championship for Doc.
You want to write a script for that?
Oh, I'd love to.
I sat there Friday night thinking that you can't have a script as good as it was for him scoring the 30,000th point. But he said he went out and went after it, even in practice, even during the warm-ups that day. He says, I'm going after the 30,000th point. And I think in his heart, he wants this team to go after an NBA championship. It would be an almost, what a major upset it would be for the team without a real, true center. Not that, of course,
Gary Poplin, Steve Mix, can you hear me? This is Jim Gardner.
Jim Gardner.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yes.
Steve, I'm just wondering what your reaction was when either, I don't know if you were there, but as you know, Dr. J made special mention of you during his speech on his last regular season game ceremony at the Spectrum, and he made special mention of you, that your name should be on a banner hanging in the rafters of the Spectrum along with some of the other former 76ers. What was your reaction to that?
Well, I know one thing. It brought a tear to my eye sitting up there during the whole ceremony, and when he mentioned that I should be put up there along with some of the other greats that played here in Philadelphia, you know, I was choked up. I was sitting in the front row taking pictures. I was able to sneak up in there to get some pictures, and when he mentioned my name, you know, caught me completely off guard. But what a tradition it would start if the Philadelphia fans, if the Philadelphia 76ers could start a family tradition like the Boston Celtics, like the Los Angeles Raiders, to have that family that when teams come in here, like you go into the Boston Garden, they feel fear in their heart that they're not going to win no matter what, because the tradition's behind them 100%. The fans and everything are behind them. What a tradition to start, and what a way for Julius to start it.
It'd be nice to have your name up in the rafters. That's the closest you ever got up there.
Yeah, I don't think I ever will. I don't know whether I played long enough or well enough to do that.
Considering your jumping ability.
And my running ability and all the other lack of abilities that I had.
No, but Steve, just kidding. I mean, you really deserve it, and a lot of players will. And perhaps the call has gone out from Julius Erving. I mean, no question, not the perhaps aspect. The call has gone out. It's now incumbent upon the Sixers to make this day not the exception, but the rule for a lot of players, and psychologically it could help the team future years to come. Here comes some more people as the crowd billows in.
Gary, I don't mean to interrupt you,
Go ahead,
but our camera vantage is probably better than your eyes, but Dr. J is making his entrance into JFK Plaza, being escorted by Jay Foote, a producer from Channel 6, and he should be coming into your view in just a matter of seconds.
Well, considering his height, it should not be even seconds. I can just hear the applause as Dr. J comes home to the JFK Plaza after a marvelous parade. Applause coming up for Turquoise Irving, has just made to the podium, and there's the doctor. They start chanting, "We want Doc." They have Doc. It's very emotional.
It really is. I can't think of a man that deserves it more than Julius Erving to have this type of tribute paid to him.
And of course, the master of ceremonies, our sports director, Don Tollefson at JFK Plaza.
The doctor shaking hands with Frank Lattenberg, and there is Senator Bill Bradley, who knows a thing or two about basketball himself, an All-American at Princeton, And, of course, a star forward with the New York Knicks, Dr. Julius Erving.
And welcome to the city of Philadelphia's official salute to the one and only Julius Winfield Erving II. Today you are a part of history, not just a part of Philadelphia history, but a part of American history. Never before in the history of the United States has a current professional athlete been honored with a parade. No one has deserved that to be the first honor in his career more than number 6, Julius Erving. We all know why you are here today, so instead of having a bunch of speeches and long, boring presentations, we're going to be as quick as possible in getting the formal stuff out of the way so that you can have an opportunity to hear from Julius himself. But bear with me, if you will, for a few moments, because for the thousands and thousands of you who are here today, there are hundreds of thousands of people in New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and across the United States who want to officially and formally, through their elected officials, say thank you to Julius. So now I would ask you to honor them because they are here to honor Julius. Let us now introduce the members of our honorary group here on stage. Starting on the right side of the stage, we'd like you to meet a number of members of the Sixers family and also people who made this parade possible. First of all, the president and general manager of WPVI Television Channel 6 who put this parade together, Mr. Rich Spinner. The president and owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, Mr. Harold Katz. The general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers, Mr. John Nash. Head coach of the 76ers, Mr. Matty Gukas. 76ers forward and NBA All-Star Charles Barkley. In our second row, guard Andrew Toney. 76ers forward Cliff Robinson. 76ers center Tim McCormick. 76ers guard Steve Coulter. 76ers forward Mr. Kenny Green. Super All-Star guard number 10, Mr. Maurice Cheeks. Beginning our third row to honor Julius, Philadelphia 76ers rookie star guard David Wingate. 76ers forward Danny Brains. A former 76er rejoining his team this year, Mr. Mark McNamara, center. And forward from Trenton, New Jersey, Mr. Roy Hidson. 76ers assistant coach, the pride of St. Joseph's University, Mr. Jimmy Lynam. In our fourth row, here to honor Julius, some of his former teammates, starting with former 76er, Mr. Steve Mix. Another former teammate and another dear friend, Mr. Bobby Jones. Assistant coach of the 1987 Philadelphia 76ers, Mr. John Gabriel. And longtime trainer of the Philadelphia 76ers, Mr. Al Domenico. We mentioned that we have a number of people from all over the tri-state area here to honor Julius. Right now, we would like to introduce some of those people and family and friends and people who've played an important role in Julius's development over the years. Immediately to the left of Julius Erving, representing the governor of the state of Pennsylvania, Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth, Mr. Michael Gilhool. Next to Mr. Gilhool, the mayor of the great city of Philadelphia, W. Wilson Good. We have two official representatives of the great state of New Jersey here today, both of them United States Senators. First of all, Senator Frank Lautenberg. And secondly, a man who knows all about public service and also great basketball, the former star of the New York Knicks and senator from the state of New Jersey, Mr. Bill Bradley. In the second row, the people closest to Julius Erving, the man we honor today, first of all, starting with his wife, Turquoise Erving. And the beautiful children of Doc and Turquoise, I'll ask them all to rise as a group. Cheo, Jay, Jasmine, and Corey, the Erving children. The wife of the mayor of the great city of Philadelphia, Mrs. Velma Good. In our third row on the left side, honoring Julius today, a number of people who played a great role in his youth. He currently is Dr. J's business manager, but he was his high school basketball coach, Mr. Ray Wilson. Ray? Doc's college coach, the former head coach of the University of Massachusetts, Mr. Jack Lehman. Jack. 76ers radio broadcaster on WPVI, John Gurovich. In our last row, a couple of great coaches who know all about the greatness of Doc, both on and off the court. Coach of the Villanova Wildcats, Rolly Massavino. Coach of the LaSalle Explorers, Speedy Morris. Longtime Sixers right-hand man, equipment manager, and confidant of the Doc, Mr. Jeffrey Millman. Former 76ers coach and current broadcaster, Mr. Gene Shue. And last but not least, Prism sports director and Sixers broadcaster, Mr. Jim Barniak. Right now, to begin our brief formal ceremonies before Julius gets up here to thank you all personally, with a proclamation from the great state of Delaware and its governor, Mike Castle, the general manager of Channel 6 WPVI, Mr. Rick Spinner. Rick?
Before I read the proclamation, I wanted to say to Dr. J, you have been honored many times for your accomplishments over the past few months. Basketball fans in every part of our nation have paid tribute to the excitement you brought to the game and the dignity with which you did it. They have showered you with tokens, prizes, and gifts of every kind, right down to a piece of parquet from some team up north. Today is the day when everyone who lives in the Delaware Valley can say congratulations and thanks. Congratulations for all your on and off the court accomplishments, and thanks for letting us share them. There are a number of dignitaries and officials here to honor you. Governor Mike Castle of Delaware was kept from attending today by his duties, but he asked me to read and present to you this proclamation on his behalf. Whereas Julius Erving, known by his teammates on the 76ers and his fans as Dr. J, has delighted people with his artistry on the basketball court. And whereas Dr. J has donated his time and energy to many charitable efforts and is an ambassador for the Delaware Valley and many other parts of the world, and whereas Dr. J is a proven winner, now therefore I, Michael N. Castle, Governor of the state of Delaware, do hereby declare Monday, April 20th, 1987 as Dr. J Day in Delaware, and urge all Delawareans to recognize the contributions that this famous person has given to our society. It's signed by the Governor, Michael N. Castle. And Channel 6 wants to give you something too. as a keepsake of this day. We were pressed for a choice since so much has already been done. Looking at your interests, we see a humanitarian who has given so much of himself to private charities. And so we finally decided to make a contribution to the Delaware Valley charity you select in your name and honor. In this way, we hope to properly recognize the high personal integrity you bring to your public and professional life, making you one of Philadelphia's leading citizens and the Delaware Valley's ambassador at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rick Spinner, General Manager of Channel 6. You know, guys who have played with Doc have learned from the first moment they joined the team he was on, be it in high school, college, or the pros, that you love this guy immediately and you'll learn to love him the rest of your life. To talk about the love and respect basketball players have for the gentleman we're honoring today, former teammate and dear, dear friend, Mr. Steve Mix.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Some things never change. I always have turnovers, I guess, when I played here. So no sense why I shouldn't have one today. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon and take part in the farewell festivities for Julius. I became a 76er in 9 years as a 76er, but it wasn't until 1976 when Julius put his name on it that we were elevated up into the elite of the NBA, and I would like to thank Julius for doing that. I've had a lot of wonderful memories of this great city and its people and the 76ers fans. Some of my cherished memories will be of Julius. And I was fortunate enough to have played alongside Julius. I was fortunate enough to have Julius as a roommate on the road. And I have been blessed to call him my friend. And I appreciate that, Doc. In 1983, I was thrilled that Julius was able to bring home a championship trophy to Philadelphia that not only the fans deserved, but also because Julius and the team worked hard to deserve it. In closing, I would just like to extend my best wishes for your happiness, Doc. In the days ahead, I know there'll be happy ones, and God bless you.
Next, with an official proclamation from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, representing Governor Bob Casey, the Secretary of Education, Thomas K. Gilhul. Thomas?
Thank you, David. Dr. J, for all of the people of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I bring you the greetings of Governor Robert Patrick Casey. Spike Casey, as he was known in the days when Holy Cross was pushing the University of Massachusetts around the basketball court. I am proud to declare today Dr. Julius Erving Day in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania by the hand of Governor Casey's proclamation. That proclamation says as follows: in every recognized sport, there are those few players whose sensational talent and strong character place them among the stars in the history of sports. Julius Erving is clearly one of the most exciting and special athletes in this exceptional class of stars. Dr. J brought a fresh and invigorating style to the sport of basketball, revolutionizing the moves on the court and captivating the thousands in the stands. His slam dunks, his skywalk became trademarks as he sailed through the air, twisting and stretching to reach the basket. For over 16 years as a professional basketball player, and from 1976 until 1987, as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers, he has delighted his fans, all of whom must be here today, with his brilliant jumping ability, his artful moves, his impressive quickness. Dr. J has a unique ability to evoke on the court, in this city, in our state, in all of life, the spirit of the team. The team for him came first. Whether it's his charitable contributions or his active involvement in civic life or his extraordinary support of the work of the schools of Philadelphia, of this state, and of this nation, he has not only touched the hearts of his fans, but he has enriched the lives of everyone throughout the community. Therefore, in recognition of the outstanding talent, integrity, and dignity Dr. Julius Erving has brought to the sport of basketball, and to this, his city, and to his state, I, Robert P. Casey, Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, do hereby proclaim April 20, 1987 as Dr. Julius Erving Day. Dr. J's unmatched skill and ability creates a legacy that will be remembered by millions of people throughout the country. Given under my hand and the seal of the governor, this 17th day of April, in the year of our Lord 1987, and of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the 211th. As Dr. J was rising to respond to your greetings here this morning and then sitting, I reached quickly for his briefcase, lest it be crushed. He said, "How quick?" I said I had watched a master. He said, "You can learn. You can always learn." It was awesome on Friday night, in the midst of the celebration of this great career, to find the concentration that allowed 38 points and a mark of 30,000 to be broken. It is that concentration, Dr. J, that counts as well for success in school. God bless you. You are a hero to school children. All of them are here. Thank you so much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderfully patient. We just have the presentations from the city and the state of New Jersey, so bear with us. Julius will be up here to thank you in just a moment. But first, because we want all the people in the tri-state area to have an ample opportunity to let you know how they feel about Julius, those who could not be here today, representing the great state of New Jersey, Senator Frank Lautenberg.
Thank you. My presentation will be brief. It's to recognize Dr. J for his contribution. This is the proclamation given by the state of New Jersey, signed by the governor. It says very simply, whereas Julius Erving has thrilled basketball fans across America with his court finesse and athletic skills, and Dr. J has been an inspiration to the youth of New Jersey and a wonderful role model for all youngsters who aspire to the basketball profession. And throughout Dr. J's career, he has worked tirelessly on behalf of children and his community. Whereas the Philadelphia 76ers professional basketball team has benefited greatly not only from Dr. J's basketball skills, but also from his leadership. Whereas Dr. J is being honored by WPVI television station in Philadelphia on this day. Now, therefore, Thomas H. Kane, Governor of the state of New Jersey, does hereby recognize and commend Julius Dr. J. Erving in New Jersey on this very special day, and it's signed by the governor of New Jersey, and I privilege Dr. J to give this to you on his behalf.
Today also representing the great state of New Jersey, but as well representing all the basketball players throughout the NBA who have played around, about, and against Doc, and who have respected him for all he did for the game on and off the court, the former star of the New York Knicks, Senator Bill Bradley.
Dr. J, what can you give or bring to Dr. J? The first thing that I bring is my respect for Julius Erving as a player and, more importantly, as a human being. The second thing I bring is a little more tangible. It is a flag that was flown over the Capitol of the United States during the last week of his last season as a professional basketball player. It is offered with respect and in recognition for his career as a player and in appreciation for his community spirit and for his contribution to his fellow man. Dr. J.
There's a gentleman who made this parade possible, because when those of us, all of you included, who love the Doc, wanted to put something like a parade together, we knew it wouldn't be possible without the cooperation of the man who runs this city and made it possible for all the city services we needed today. Right now, for a proclamation to Julius, the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, Mr. W. Wilson Good.
Thank you all very much. How about a big hand for WPVI Channel 6? Come on. Dr. Erving, to all of you who are here, Julius Erving is an outstanding athlete, outstanding businessman, outstanding civic leader, outstanding husband, outstanding father, outstanding role model. You all try and be like him, all right? It is my pleasure to be here. Julius Erving is indeed an institution here in this city. He's a real living treasure. We all are proud of him, and therefore we're going to give out each year 2 scholarships, one in the public schools and one in the Catholic schools, to honor outstanding athletes with good academics. Therefore, we want to salute at this time a real outstanding Philadelphian, a real outstanding Pennsylvanian, a real outstanding American. And therefore, with the power vested in me, I hereby proclaim this day, Monday, Dr. Julius Erving Day in Philadelphia.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is appropriate that we are gathered in a plaza named for a great American, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. If you look around you right now, this is an example of the dream of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King and so many other great Americans who dreamt that human teamwork is possible. That if we work together, you can bring together black people, white people, men and women, young and old. No one currently alive in this city has done more to promote racial harmony, religious harmony, and the pursuit of human rights than the man we're about to honor, not as a basketball player, but as a leader of Americans, Julius Winfield Erving II.
Thank you very kindly, citizens of Philadelphia. I think it's absolutely necessary when you have a crowd of this size gathered to tell them something that's going to make them feel good. Hopefully, what I have to say will make you feel good. And right at the top, let me say that as I retire from basketball, my wife, my children, and I have decided that despite the rumors that you might have heard, Philadelphia will be our home. I don't know how silly rumors like that could have gotten started in the first place. I'd like to thank Don Tollefson for coordinating today's ceremonies. I'd like to thank WPVI Channel 6 for sponsoring today's parade. I'd like to thank Richard Spinner. I'd like to thank and acknowledge the 76ers family that's here today. To Thomas Gilhill, Senator Frank Lautenberg, Senator Bill Bradley, Honorable Wilson Good, to Steve Mix and Bobby Jones. I thank you for your words, your gestures. I thank you for your representation here today. For the many school children who are here, I didn't hear anywhere where this was a day off from school. But if you decided to make it a day off, just make it a half day off. After the ceremonies, get back to the classroom. And take a note from the doctor. Needless to say, I think one of the main reasons for me being here today is the simple fact that everyone couldn't crowd into the Spectrum on Friday night. So we had to open up the city to say goodbye to me and my family, to say goodbye to the NBA regular season, and to gear up some momentum for the playoffs. My teammates have been wonderful to me all year long and throughout my career. In basketball, which is a team sport, it's impossible for any individual to stand out, to be recognized as a great individual talent, to be a great player, to win championships, to win division titles, to win conference titles, to be an all-star without having great teammates. And right here, seated here, I have the greatest teammates in the world. And although I get to do all the talking, I don't want you to forget about these guys. Just as I don't want you to forget about the teammates that I've had in past years. If I'm retiring from basketball now, I'm not retiring as a one-year player. I'm retiring after 16 years as a player. And I've had a number of teammates in the 16 years. I sat down this morning and I tried to make up a list of all the guys that I played with. It would be redundant of me to say all those names right now because some of them have long since left the game of basketball, but I'm very proud that two of them are here today, that Steve Mix and Bobby Jones are here, and they're on the podium. If you guys stand up. Bobby. That's right, you heard that many times in the Spectrum. Something happened Friday night that was a milestone in professional basketball for me, and it was the scoring of my 30,000th point. I'd like to reflect on that for a second, because I certainly didn't go out and score 30,000 points alone. There were guys, forwards, centers, and guards who made sacrifices for me to score 30,000 points. I'd like to acknowledge some of those guys right now. I've played for 3 teams in my professional career: the Virginia Squires, the New York Nets, and the Philadelphia 76ers, our Philadelphia 76ers. And I just have to mention that the point guards on those various teams are really the keys to me scoring so many points. I mean, you have to have a guy who, when you make a quick cut to the basket, he sees you and he delivers the ball. And this isn't limited to point guards, but I've had a handful of point guards who I'd like to name right now, because wherever they are in life, I want them to know that Julius Erving hasn't forgotten them. Obviously, at the head of that list is Maurice Cheeks. And second on that list, even though he's better known as a shooter, is Andrew Toney. And here in Philadelphia, I've gotten the ball from Henry Bibby, Doug Collins, World B. Free, Lionel Hollins. Certainly got a lot of nice passes this year from Steve Coulter and David Wingate. Back in New York, there was Brian Taylor, Bill Melchione, a Villanova graduate. In Virginia, there was Fatty Taylor, a LaSalle graduate. The guards aren't the only guys who pass the ball. There have been power forwards and small forwards, and certainly there have been centers who have passed me the ball throughout my career. Those guys, most of whom are out of basketball right now, but some are still here. And if you look at on our team right now, Tim McCormick, Jeff Rulin, and you look at Caldwell Jones and Darryl Dawkins from past Sixer teams, and you look at Moses Malone and Mark McNamara from the championship team, it's necessary to say thank you to them. And this might be the last time that I get to address a crowd of this size. So let me tell you what's really at the root of all things for my life, being as successful as it's been to this point, being the type of life that would allow me to be able to come before you now and be acknowledged with a parade that it refuses to rain on. I think at the root of it all is charity. Charity that I learned and that became an influence in my life as a direct commandment from God. Be charitable. In my first years as a basketball player, people from the Special Olympics came and asked me if I would do a public service announcement for them. I had never heard of the Special Olympics. I had never really heard of public service announcements. But something in my heart that I know was placed there by God said, do this, Julius. And the Special Olympics came, and the March of Dimes came, and PAL came, and the Muscular Dystrophy Association came, the Multiple Sclerosis Association came, the Heart Association came, lupus came, cancer research came. So many charities and fundraising organizations that were in need of someone who was blessed and who was healthy and who was patient enough to take their time and give of themselves to let people know that, yes, everybody out here at this parade can smile and laugh and joke and take time off and have a good time. But this isn't the whole world. There are a lot of people in this world who are so much less fortunate than us, and it's our duty, it's our obligation. We are commanded to think about them, to share with them, to love them, to care for them, to get yourself together and pay attention to those less fortunate than yourselves, to reach into your hearts, your pockets, whatever it takes, and to give. And that's part of the foundation of my life. I thank you all for being here today. I love you all. And in closing, I'd like to say, God bless Dave Zinkoff. And I think he gave us another sunny day. Thank you, and goodbye.
Soaring to the sky, just as Dr. J's star soared so many years ago when he came to Philadelphia in 1976. And we will be ready for an exclusive interview with Sports Director Don Tollefson and Dr. J in just a couple of minutes. Quite a ceremony, quite an inspirational message from the doctor. And we'll get back to Dr. J and Don.
I think it was so important. You and I were chatting about the end of your remarks, about how important it is for a guy like you to encourage all, in particular these young people, to become charitable minded.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's something that's deeply embedded in my heart and in your heart too, Don, as you know. And love, peace, and charity. I mean, these are things that are repeated constantly throughout the Bible, or documentation of all time in poetry, music, love, peace, and charity. And charity is as important as any of those things, because it reflects love and it creates peace.
You
talked about the Special Olympics and some of the other specific charities. The fulfillment you get when you go to an event and you see what you get in return for giving, that kind of volunteer spirit is what you're trying to generate.
It's so heartwarming, I mean, to see that you can help someone else. We have time. If you make yourself available, you have time to get these types of things done. And there's a formula. Sit down, organize yourself, and give of yourself. When you empty yourself, you open yourself up to receive so much more. So it's not a matter of being manipulative in any way. It's just a pure generosity that is a wonderful gift to have. And if you tell people about it and they listen and they start to do it, they'll understand it better.
You talked about all the ceremonies you've had around the NBA, and those are basketball fans, sports fans. The feelings you must have had riding with Turquoise today and seeing thousands of non-sports fans who just love you as a human being. Had to be incredible.
Don, this is bigger than basketball. And we have to make reference to my 16 years as a professional basketball player, but this is bigger than basketball. And there are a lot of thrills, and there's excitement, and there's a certain feeling that you can get from basketball-related things, but this is life we're talking about here. And life goes a lot deeper, and the feelings have to go a lot deeper. So I'm just happy to give myself up. Thank you guys for what you've done to make it happen.
And for the basketball fans, though, Doc, you talked about it Friday night, you talked about it here today. If the Sixers can come closer together as a family in these next couple of weeks, it's got to make you feel more optimistic heading into the playoffs against Milwaukee.
I think it's already started. You know, I can sense it already. I can sense the oneness. And going into the playoffs against Milwaukee, we're going after them.
Your future plans, you could do anything. Bob Casey suggests the other night you run for president. Other people say the Senate. Everybody wants you in business opportunities. Have you thought at all about what you're going to start doing with the private Julius Erving in the next couple of months?
Well, as you know, I got a bottling company up in North Philly that commands a certain amount of my attention. And my partners and I are in discussion right now about what my role should be. I'm not going to do one thing. I'm not going to be consumed by one thing the way that I have been consumed by basketball. There will be a spiritual umbrella over everything that I do as a Christian, and I'm waiting right now to really receive the word, to push me in the right direction so that I don't overcommit myself and suddenly get out there and do something that I might not enjoy doing. Charity will always be there. Public service will be there. Public relations will be there. There are a lot of things that I do part-time now, promotional work and whatever, that I can continue to do to sustain me. So I don't think I necessarily have to wear a specific hat to be a good citizen, to be a good man, and to be able to help people.
In everything you do, you always have been, you always will be. On behalf of Channel 6 and all the hundreds of thousands who couldn't be here live, thank you again. You're super, man.
You're very, very welcome.
Thanks,
all right.
All right, an incredible moment here at JFK Plaza. Still thousands of young people around thanking Doc one by one, and he's going to try to take this momentum, as he said, into the playoffs. But regardless of what happens in the playoffs, I think this city today, Jim, has shown that if you perform off the court, off the field in a non-athletic sense the way Julius has, there will always be a special place in everyone's heart for a truly great human being.
Thank you, Don. The philosophy of Julius Erving. Doc. Opportunity to bring this event to many hundreds of thousands of people here today. An event that really touched the soul of the community of Philadelphia, and more widely than that, the Delaware Valley. Not only do we have tributes today from Mayor Wilson Goode, but from the governors of Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. I thought it interesting that Bill Bradley accompanied Senator Frank Lautenberg. Senator Bradley gave Dr. J the flag that flew over the Capitol during the week that Dr. J played out the string on his last regular season. And Bill Bradley, certainly a blood brother of Julius Erving as they played against each other in the NBA. I'd like to be able to say that Channel 6 really knows how to throw a heck of a parade, but I think in this case today, that man right there deserves the credit for the excitement and the dynamic quality to this event, Julius Erving. But I would be remiss if I didn't say how proud Channel 6 is to be able to play a part and to be a partner with the doctor in becoming a fabric of this community on such an important event as this. We are paying tribute to a man who has represented Philadelphia in the most exemplary way possible, and really it has been our pleasure, and we do feel a sense of pride in being able to present this event to the people of Philadelphia. We would also like to thank our general manager and president of WPVI, Rick Spinner, and the man whose brainchild this event really was, our program manager, Charles Bradley, who also put together our Thanksgiving Day parade and now this parade, and I think Charlie will be known as the parade man around here before too long. But we would like to thank all of you for taking part in this event with us. This is really a sense of community here today, all focused on a single individual, Julius Erving. We were very happy to have been able to play a part. This is Julius Erving Day in the city of Philadelphia and apparently in the states of Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And we will bring you all the reviews and all the pictures that made this morning so memorable for us and for you on Action News at 5 and 6 and 11 o'clock tonight. And so that wraps up our parade, our Dr. J salute from Philadelphia.